Okay, I'd like to talk now about communication, how we communicate with our kids. Now when we communicate, obviously there is listening and then there's also responding. So we'll talk about listening first. How can we effectively listen to our children when we communicate with them? The most important thing, I think, in terms of making your listening more effective is to show them respect, that you actually respect what they have to say. Now, the way we show respect is to slow down, to actually turn, use our body language, face them, maybe get down to the ground to their level and say, what are you actually saying? And give them a bit of time. They may take a bit longer because they're little people. They may take a bit longer to get their message out. So we need to give them maybe a bit more space and a bit more time. And we're really using our body language to show, I want to hear what you've got to say. It's a collaborative approach that we are trying to both get involved with the conversation and hear what the other party has got to say, what message they've got. This requires a bit of effort. It requires us to turn away from whatever we're doing, to maybe put down the cooking pot, or to turn away from our phone, or to turn away from the other person we're talking to, the other adult we're talking to, and actually say, okay, I'm listening now. And you can even say that phrase, I'm listening now, tell me what you've got to say. So we're trying to hear, to make that effort to hear what is actually said, not what we think is going to be said, or that we want to be actually said, but what they're actually saying. And we can even clarify that with them and say, tell me what you mean by that, just flesh it out. I really want to hear what you've got to say. And once again, it comes back to them being taken seriously. So, using your body language also to draw out the message from them, like a nod, and okay, more, and facilitating that communication by drawing it out of them, because the actual message is within the child, and it's up to us as the adult to extract that message effectively. If we are able to do this effectively, it can actually help them generate an emotional compass, that we can actually help them figure out where they should be reacting emotionally to different situations, especially if we are that person that I've mentioned before, the person that can give them unconditional love, that can be able to communicate with them in a non-judgmental fashion. Now, of course, we're not going to expect ourselves to be able to do this perfectly. No one does. There are going to be breakdowns. Actually, it's a natural pattern of human communication or human interaction between humans, that there will be breakdown and repair, and breakdown and repair, and breakdown and repair. That is a normal pattern for relationships to have. And so we then need to have our radar out for when those breakdowns happen, so that we can recognise them and deal with them as promptly as possible. So that if we realise that things are going pear-shaped on the communication front, we stop and go, okay, I have to do something about this. So that normal breakdown and repair sort of pattern is something that we need to keep an eye out for. I'll talk about listening, now let's talk about responding. How do we respond to our children in the best fashion, in the way that's going to maximise that communication? Well, the first thing is to be honest. There's no good trying to disguise your emotions or to say that you're not angry when you clearly are. That just confuses them. They're trying to learn how to pick up when people are angry and how to control the anger. So you need to be able to model to them how you are controlling negative emotions. So we need to tell them how we feel, and also we need to tell them what we actually think. To be honest and say, this is what I actually think. And when you deliver that message, that you then say, so did you understand me? Can you just tell me what you think I just said? So that reflection that as a doctor we are trying to do with our patients, but as parents we're also trying to do with our children. We're trying to make sure that the message we've given has been understood and it's not the wrong message. So basically it's trying to maximise 2 points of view getting across to the other person in both directions. Now, just finally, a final note on communication is talking about nagging, because parents often will talk to me about nagging and how to deal with it. Well, the first thing to just say about nagging is, what is the best response to nagging? The best response, if you really think that your child's after a lolly and they shouldn't have a lolly, it's just before they're meant to have dinner and you really don't want to give them that lolly, And you've made that decision. Well, the best response, of course, is no. Unemotionally and firmly and clearly communicating no. Now, of course, that may not stop the nagging. It probably will often continue the nagging. The second best response is if you really were not sure whether it was a no or not, is to say yes, so that you don't have to worry about the nagging then, because they get what they want, if you think that that's a reasonable thing to do. A not so good response is to go no, no, oh yes, right? That you give in fairly quickly, which is not so bad, but the worst thing to do is to go no, 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 emotionally no, and then minutes later go, oh yes, I give you. Because of course that is teaching them that perseverance will break you. So we have to make our no's count. If you're going to say no, you need to say it effectively and clearly and hopefully stick with it if you make that call. And of course, before all that though, did we really need to say that no in the first place? An alternative approach here is to negotiate, to encourage them to negotiate. So say, you want that lolly, why do you think you deserve that lolly? Why do you think you should have it? Why do you think, that's not what we normally do, why should I change, why should I allow you to do that? And so that they then have to mount an argument. Now, you still may be saying no after the negotiation, but at least you're showing them a little bit, once again, respect to let them have an attempt at convincing you of it. It's modelling a certain flexibility, and of course it's once again modelling the fact that you respect what they've got to say.